What it do, what it does, what it be like. It's your boy Black Girl, aka Dr. H.A.A.S, and this is the Doctor's Orders Podcast. Appreciate you coming back for round 3. This is season 2, episode 3. Kind of proud of myself. I didn't think I was gonna make it this long. I lied. You know I gotta keep it pushing. Honestly, I didn't think I was gonna be this consistent. I almost did. I'm probably a few days late putting it out. If you're getting this on a Monday, it's hella late. I usually put them out on Friday or Saturday. But, you know, real fans, y'all gonna understand. Appreciate you. Keep on supporting, man. Keep on sharing. I've been getting a lot more feedback off and on. A little bit different than the last go round because this go round got videos, so that makes things hella great, so much greater. I appreciate everybody for supporting this H.A.A.S brand, man. I've been getting questions about the shirts and the pullovers because the fall season finna kick in real heavy, especially with football and all that. Mosquitoes be out, you're gonna need a little hoodie. So yeah, I'm gonna have the hoodies and the t-shirts. I'm gonna show y'all where to get that. I'm gonna give y'all the links and y'all can just keep on checking out my Instagram and TikTok and stuff. Y'all will see a lot of that coming up. I got a couple of other little H.A.A.S items. I ain't gonna mention them yet. They're gonna kind of be a surprise. Just keep that on the hush till everything gets put together. Yeah, man. Other than that, ain't too much with me. Glad that we made it to September of 2022. Man, the year flying, ain't it? That year is rolling like the beautiful bean footage, man. It's like it was just February. It was February yesterday, I swear. But yeah, we moving right along through the year. Seeing a lot of things go on off and on in the community. Yeah, the violence has been up again. But at the same time, school started back, so a lot of the young kids about to have a lot more things to do, a lot of opportunities to stay off the streets and stay out of the way of all the negative energy. We do need to come together at some point. So me and some folks that I've been in contact with and in communication with and having conversations with, we're gonna try to find a way to have a little powwow or whatnot to figure out what we can do to slow this violence down and keep these make it to where we can watch our kids grow. Because it was already bad enough that a lot of the fathers are being incarcerated or also seeing their untimely demise. But that's only one side of not being able to see your kids grow. You know, sad enough, now we're at a point in 2022 where we losing kids too. You know, kids are going to do those 25-year prison bids. Kids are the ones that we burying. And we got to go see him for the final time in the casket. So it's a little different now. So we will be swinging a lot more focus on trying to make sure that the generations under ourselves are set up for greatness and not failure. But we'll get to that down the line, man. For now, I'm just here to give you a little news and entertainment. Very glad that you brought me your ear one more again because if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't have nothing. So it ain't gonna be very long this go round, man. I ain't got too much to talk about. I'm gonna run that old daily diagnosis past you, and I probably gonna branch off of today's daily diagnosis because it's a current event that's been very popular in these streets. I mean it's a Texas thing, but it's really a South Side thing. It's a whole South thing, and it's very relatable. The situation that happened, but I ain't gonna spoil it, man. We're going to be right back with that daily diagnosis. Hold tight. All right. Daily diagnosis. Where will I start? There's been a lot going on in these streets and in this great country that we like to call the United States of America. But I'm going to focus on just what caught my radar. Like I said, man, y'all need to be hitting me up, bro. Y'all been hitting me up, giving me all these good job props and where's the music props, but I ain't been getting no Q&A on these social sites. So y'all know where to find me, man. Just go ahead and look for that and let me know what y'all want to talk about. Here's the things that caught my attention this week. First off, this student loan debt relief situation. All right, listen. A lot of folk out there real pissed off that Biden went ahead and gave 10 G's worth of debt forgiveness to everybody with student loans. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think I got some loans in default. But I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about the everyday American that, decided to further their education and go to somebody's university or college. So, now Joe Biden probably going to set us back a couple years, but we ain't tripping on what he's actually doing, are we? I don't really know. What I am saying is a lot of folks are mad. That's our tax money that's going to be knocking out some of these loans. Now, you got to look at that from another perspective, though, for those of y'all that are very upset. Because me, myself, I'm not that upset, regardless. Like, whether I got loans or not, we keep me out of the equation. My tax dollars are helping to take care of somebody's loan. You got to think about who these people are, that have had to take these loans out. You enjoy going to the veterinarian and making sure that your pet, your animal version of a family member, is taken care of, right? Dentist. I know you go to the dentist, the eye doctor, any doctor in general, nurses, seeing RN. Like, look, listen. Anybody I ain't gonna say of importance because that's being kind of negative. Anyone that you can be seen as a relief or as assistance in your life, from your bank teller down to your optometrist. I mean, you name it, bro. You had to go to college and you had to get a degree. So now you just go look at them people like, oh, you're not out here saving lives. You're not out here making my life easier. You're just a regular bum on the street that happened to go to school and get a degree. Like, it doesn't work like that. This is going to help so many great people that you need in your life every day. So I don't see what the big fuss is about, And I hate to see their reaction. How they feel. How does your nurse that's taking care of your mom in the hospital feel that you mad at them because Joe Biden pitched them 10 stacks to get off that debt? Because they really ain't making the money they deserve. Because it's almost impossible to pay them what they deserve due to inflation and everything's just fucked up. Excuse my French again. But I mean, everything's very bad off. So $10,000 is going to help many individuals, many brilliant individuals, your lawyers, your doctors, your nurses. There's so many different positions. I'm drawing a blank, but you get the picture, bro. Like, somebody out there went to school 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, more to obtain a degree of higher education to be of assistance in your life, and you mad because Biden and pitched 10 G's to him to help him out. I think you're tripping, bro. I think you got shit fucked up. I think you need to reflect it a little bit different. And yes, I do. I get it. I'm a taxpaying citizen myself. At this point, I actually work for the government. So it's like, okay, now you're going to take all this money out of my check, pass that shit along to somebody else who couldn't afford to take care of the loan. Man, for sure. Take that. You're going to take it for something else that don't count or give a fuck about. So, like, go ahead, bro. Help these people with student loans. The student loan forgiveness is okay in my book. Yes, I'm saying that right now in the beginning of September 22. I don't know if I'm going to be saying that shit around income tax season 23. I don't know. But it's how I feel tonight, all right? So, that's why I stand on that. In other news, closer to my genre of specifics anyway, I deal with the hip-hop industry. So, the biggest thing that happened in the hip-hop industry nationwide this past week probably was that God Did track off of Khaled's new album. It was Rick Ross, it was Lil Wayne, and of course the legendary Jay-Z. Ross, I ain't gonna try to play him. He went hard, but it was a forgettable verse, bro. Like, it wasn't nothing major about that was gonna really draw attention to the man. But Wayne went hard. He was decent, Shout out to Lil Wayne. I'm a Louisiana kid, so I grew up with you and on you. Still think you're one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest of all time. I've heard better, but still was very impressed. Thumbs up to Wayne. But the conversation was all about Jay-Z's verse. Here's where the conflict came, right? Alright, so the song like 7 minutes, maybe 8. So Jay-Z's verse was literally a whole song's length. It was about 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. He spoke nothing but the truth. Every single bar, bro. I don't know if I've heard of a verse to where the artist spit out a story and you can almost connect the dots to each line and reminisce and remember something about what he just said in that bar. Like, every bar was setting up to something different, speaking on his accomplishments and what he's done. And you know, a lot of people are trying to say that was his greatest featured verse, like as if him on a feature, that's the greatest featured verse he ever done. A lot of folks are still, you know, solidifying his title as the greatest of all time when it comes to rap. Here's my opinion on all of that. Here's where y'all gonna start hating me. I probably was the second or third best featured verse Jay-Z has ever done. Honestly though. And with a catalog that's about 20 years old. Pretty fucking good. Don't think it was his greatest verse of all time. It's questionable of him being the greatest of all time. I don't think it was overrated. I feel it was properly rated. Because he is a GOAT. Not the a GOAT. So yeah. You can hate me by saying, hey, you from the South and you ride for Jay-Z. I'm not saying he's the greatest of all time. But I'm saying that was an impressive verse. Was I as impressed as everyone else? Probably not. But still, impressive verse. So, shout out to Jay-Z. Shout out to Khaled. Keep doing what you do. Now I'm about to get into the last piece of this daily diagnosis, but it ties into my double dose. So just look. Just hold tight. Stay tuned. This is the real meat of the podcast. Just hold up right quick. All right. So, I hope this is working. Had a few technical difficulties during the break. Please excuse me and forgive me. Yeah. So what we doing? Yeah, we ended up. We're rounding out the daily diagnosis, so I can give you the double dose. So my last little topic of discussion jumps into the full-fledged topic of discussion for the episode. Unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you've heard about the Z-Ro and Trae altercation. If you are from the immediate Gulf Coast South, you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about like Texas, Louisiana South. I'm sure Mississippi and Bama, y'all in there too. Arkansas, Oklahoma. Look, I get it. Y'all, I'm talking to my folk around here. Y'all know what time it is. Anyway, 50 Cent had a tycoon bash or whatever in Houston over the weekend, man. And everybody know the whole city go come out. It's a lot of folks that don't get along with each other out there in Houston. And two of those folks just happen to be Z-Ro and Trae. Now here's what I'm gonna say about those two fellas. They've been in some type of disagreement since at least 05, 06. So anything that transpired over the weekend for all you outsiders and newcomers, this was well overdue. Whatever was going on was well overdue. So anyway, let me fast forward and let you know what was going on. Video footage surfaced of Z-Ro being jumped by, for show specifically, Trae and J-Tone. There were other individuals out there. The altercation wound up being a 4-on-1. Z-Ro being the one. Now Trae and Z-Ro, like I mentioned earlier, bro, they've been in beef since 05, but I mean, they're still family. They still came up together. ABN and Gorilla Mob, they came up together. That was their thing, you know. And the folks around them, that was their thing. Around the time that I mentioned, 04, 05, 06, they kind of went separate ways a little bit. And nobody was tripping. Nobody was tripping. Z-Ro had his One Deep Entertainment. Trae continued to do his thing with ABN independently. Started doing a little work with T.O.D and them, a Grand Hustle. And shit, everybody won. But what happened in Houston over the weekend was not a good look. Not a good look at all. I'm going to tell you why. Because you got two OGs. Folk been in the game 20 years minimum. You know, especially some cats that's close with each other like that. Like, that's family. You know, family business shouldn't be exposed. That's the point I'm trying to make. Family business shouldn't be exposed. That's supposed to stay interior. All that shit is supposed to stay interior. If somebody got beef with another person and it's our circle, then it should be handled within our circle. We don't need no outsiders, you know. But regardless of what that happened with the video and all that, You had a lot of fans that were torn. I'm one of them. That didn't know which direction to go when it came to whose side they were gonna take or what was more believable. So yeah, to summarize that, Trae the Truth in his camp, jump rope. They got on their separate platforms, spoke their piece about it. Everybody got an opinion. So that ends the daily diagnosis. Because I'm just bringing you full circle to what happened. Now, here's where the double dose, aka our topic of discussion, comes into play. The topic of discussion for me today is this, that, and the truth. Let me elaborate. Every situation, story, etc., has three sides. You know what I'm saying? They got this side, they got that side, and then they got what really happened, right? Alright. So, when it came to the Z-Ro and Trae situation, alright, not Z-Ro himself, but the people that was in his camp, I want to say Big Angry, his lawyer, was how about it was 7-on-1. They jumped him out of the blue, and it was, he made it more horrifying than it really was. Like 7-on-1, that's a real jump. That's an ambush. But anyway, so that was that side. And then video comes out. Video comes out. You could tell it wasn't the whole story. Like it was like the ass half of the video. It was Z-Ro balled up, and Trae's younger brother J.A.A.S hitting him with licks in the back of his head and whatnot while he's down. You could tell it's like they were already stomping him and beating him or whatever, but that part wasn't shown yet. And then, like I say, you see the footage of him hitting Z-Ro, and then they back up off of him and whatnot. Z-Ro raised up. He stands up, wants to fight whoever that was just hitting him. Unbeknownst to him, he didn't know who it was at the time. And they scattered like roaches and whatnot. Plus, the laws tried to semi-act like they was involved. That was disgraceful also. But that's another story for another podcast. So that's what went on with the video. So after the video comes out, Z-Ro come out, says his piece. Hey man, I think it was like 3 or 4 or 5 of them jumping me. Trae snuck me when he called me over to the van and whatnot. All these little details, family business is what it was. Period. So he's telling his side straight from the horse's mouth. All right, so Trae, get on there, and says it wasn't a jump, it wasn't an ambush, it wasn't a sneak attack. It was, once again, family business that they were tending to, right? That's all he really said to it. And then, like yesterday or the day before, which is another reason why this podcast has been delayed. They put out the whole video. Somebody had the whole video and sold it to TMZ, and it shows, Trae, 2 other cat, J-Ton. They trying to beat the shit out of Roe, balled up on the ground. It shows the whole thing, start to finish. When Z-Ro stand up, ready to box, and niggas start backing up and whatnot. That was a whole thing, So that kind of brought the third dynamic. That brought the truth to the situation. So, this, that, and the truth. Z-Ro said this. Alright? He had this going on. He had his side. A lot of people, fans, individuals, whatever you want to call them, rode with him out the gate from the get-go. Alright? He said this. Trae came out, said that. Got a lot of folks that's riding for what Trae had to say. Wanna be on Trae's side. Like, hey man, it's a lot of stuff that go on that we don't know about that ain't being said, and Trae been owed that to roll and blah blah blah. Okay. Those folks ride with that over there. But now, when the truth comes out, when the truth comes into play, when the last video that shows the altercation from pretty much start to finish, not quite the whole thing, but just enough to see what really happened. And that was one of those eye-opening experiences for everybody that was witnessing the scenario that was going on, because, so to speak, it was proven that, one, Z-Ro didn't lie about the scenario. He was jumped. Obviously, the video proved it. Both videos proved it, but the last one solidified it. Trae the Truth, ironically, told a lie. Am I mad at Trae at all? Sadly, I'm not. And I know I'm going to disappoint a lot of roadheads out there, because I know how it feels to have inner tension and balled up aggression, especially towards family members. Sometimes you can't just let it go until it's finally the straw that broke the camel's back. But I never vouch for jumping. I never vouch for it being more than one-on-one. And I never vouch for family business being publicized. So, for that, I will get to my next subject. The person that put the video out. How wrong were they in the scenario? Very wrong, if you ask me. Didn't have to come out. The family business could have been held within the family. Nobody had to know. But money talks, people walk. That's how that's rocking. They ain't have no other opportunity to get no bread, I guess. TMZ gave them the right amount, the right dollar amount, and off to the races. But now you got a community torn, especially the Houston community. I got a lot of friends and family out that way, you know. And as for us in Southwest Louisiana, I mean, we claim all of Southeast Texas as one of us. So it touched all of us down here too. I mean, and I got a lot of close friends and acquaintances that really disagree with me standing for Z-Ro. When I was like, hey man, all that man do is mind his business. All he do is stay by himself. Why? Because you really can't trust nobody if your own closest confidants put any type of fear or harm in your life. And I think fear was the wrong word. I think harm was a better word, because I don't think Ro was scared. And I'm not saying that, you know, Trae's any less of a man for his opinions, because like I said earlier, sometimes you got things you want to express, you want to get off your chest.
A few moments later.
Mike. All right, man. My bad. Sorry for the inconvenience, bruh. Technical difficulties have struck once again. Barely remember where I was. About 30 minutes to an hour since I recorded the last clip. So bear with me, guys. I just don't want to start this podcast over again. I do know I was speaking on our good brother Z-Ro and Trae. And I was speaking on the overall moral of this particular story or conflict, whatever you want to call it. Z-Ro had this side. Trae had that side. The video footage had the truth. That goes with every scenario we run through. Now, just because this side or that side is proven true or untrue, that doesn't make either side wrong. It doesn't. It really doesn't. What the difference is how we accept the biases. For the people that's saying this, we got to realize that all of this, it ain't that. And for the people that's riding with that, all of that ain't this. It's pieces from the both of them. The actual truth comes out. That's the only way. And until you open-minded enough to say, hey, look, I know I may be biased. I may be in favor of this side or that side. I'm also going to respect the opinion of that side or this side until we can see evidence or just any actual circumstantial, word of mouth, anything that's worth listening to that can prove, any proof that's reasonable, that can prove the truth between the two scenarios. That's it. That's all we can do. And you know, there's people that I'm down with. There's people that down with me. We don't believe the same thing about this scenario. Brings me to my next point. Learn how to agree to disagree. You're not gonna agree on everything. There's rarely gonna be more than a handful of people that agree with you in the way that you feel. We live in a huge world, bro. Somebody ain't gonna feel how you feel. Somebody's gonna disagree with you. I'm here to tell you that's okay, bro. It's all good. Agree to disagree, man. Hey, that's how you feel? Man, well look, this is how I feel. So hey, I respect it. That's where you at, this where I'm at. That don't mean we can't fuck with each other. That don't mean we can't support each other, show love to each other. All that means is on that particular set of morals or rules, we ain't following them the same way. That's it. If it ever gets to a point where it's uncomfortable, or if it ever gets to a point where it hinders you in your growth and the way that you live your life, where it affects you, hurts you, harms you, walk away. Block people out. Stay in your bubble. Remain one deep. Just know the consequences comes with that too, as you can see. Uh, man, I ain't got too much more to say about Z-Ro and Trae themselves. All I will say is, yeah, I'm on Z-Ro's side of this battle. I don't think any less of Trae, although I'm disappointed, and I'm glad that the actual truth come out. So when it comes down to that, when you're proven right or wrong, or you see the scenario clear for what it actually is, when the dust settles and the smoke clears, how do you handle things between this side, that side, and the truth? Do you let all your pent up emotions explode like Trae did? Or do you take it one step at a time, look at all angles, assess the situation, and figure out what's the most healthy for you yourself? Let me know in the comments, man. Hit me up. We can talk about it. That's pretty much all I got for y'all on this particular podcast. I appreciate you for giving me your ear one more again. Thank you to all the friends, fam, enemies, and strangers. Like I said, bro, y'all know where to find me. Spotify, Anchor app, iTunes, Apple, Google. Just go look. It's gonna pop up. Doctor's Artist, man. We here. Um, yeah, man. Till next time, 101.